Okay, we've started the recording.
Okay, I'll just wait for everyone else to get off. Are you getting a strange? I'm not getting any echo here, but comment from Laura.
I could hear it. I can hear it when I talk as well.
I think we can only have one microphone open at a time to avoid the echo.
So yeah, I'm just a bit conscious there's still got a lot of people on the call who are not editors. I don't know what.
Let me see if there's any way I can bump people off.
They probably just left their computers on and.
Right. I don't believe we'll be talking about anything controversial.
Yeah, so it's fine. We can just crack on. So thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us, and thanks Rob for organising such a great first day. It's I think you've got us off to a good start with some nice talks. I just really, this is an informal session. We've last met in September. Just really a quick update of where the group's got to in the last few months, and then a little bit of a discussion at the end about the editorial board, any new members and roles. So I think hopefully you can see that okay. I've just got about 5 or so slides to just summarize. I'm just going to talk briefly about what's changing in Cochrane methods wise, highlights of our last few months activities. Lawrence and Gloria are going to give a brief reports of their activities, and then, as I say, we can have a few minutes for discussing editorial roles. So the big change really in Cochrane at the moment is Risk of Bias 2. It's a great tool. It does take longer. You assess the risk of bias in each outcome separately. It's a little bit more explicit than the previous tool. It's incredibly popular. So this BMJ publication of the tool, I think it has had upwards of 1,500 citations already. So there is no going back. Risk of Bias 2 is well and truly here to stay, and all the new Cochrane reviews are using it. It's interesting because there's relatively little sort of empirical evidence that it provides different outcomes to the old tool, but at face value it certainly looks more explicit and better. There's another new risk of bias tool coming soon called RobME, which is designed to look at selective reporting at the trial level, so where you think there may be unpublished trials which are relevant to an analysis, and trying to fill that in. Once you've done your risk of bias 2, really, other than asking the question of was the comparator appropriate and was the outcome the right one, then you've kind of got most of the potential holes in a piece of evidence. Anyway, the risk of bias 2 is big, and we're all still on a journey learning how to do that. And to go with risk of bias 2, RevMan's changed. There's RevMan Web, which is a nicer interface. It produces these nice plots where you've got the risk of bias in the forest plot. Inevitably, there are some glitches, but in general, it's probably a better tool than the previous RevMan. And you can't do risk of bias 2 any other way, so you've got to use RevMan Web. So everyone again is learning to use this new interface, new risk of bias assessment. And then, as Lisa has already summarized, so I won't go into any detail at all, the conflict of interest policy changes, but the new thing is that the last authors as well as the first authors need to be non-conflicted, and at least 2/3 of authors must be non-conflicted. In terms of our group, we had a bit of a bulge in the last couple of years. Part of that was the diagnostic test accuracy reviews. There was a whole suite of those, which but there've been quite a lot of legacy reviews which we've been getting out in the last couple of years, and I think we're going to be around a steady sort of 10 reviews per year for going forwards. when we look at our portfolio now, we see that pretty much every single review going through the group has been prioritized in some sort of objective way, and is a big, what we might see as a potential big hitter. We did, you know, a couple of years ago, we had some in there which were, you know, you could perhaps less exciting, and you could sort of see that they're never going to be that impactful, but they would sort of, they've been in there for a while, and they're just taken a while to get through. But I think we've sort of focused down now, and I think we're looking at about 10 reviews a year, which matter, and we're trying to encourage groups and support them to get funding. So in the last 6 months, there have been 3 new funding awards for reviews which are going through at the moment. The AAD, and then 2 NIHR awards. One of them to Nottingham, another one to a different group, and a couple of or 3 new reviews which are not funded money-wise. People have got protected time to undertake them, but there's not a specific grant associated with them. 2 overviews of acne and psychological education interventions for eczema. And that funding has allowed us to employ Jane and Stephanie as systematic reviewers. They were already working in the Centre of Evidence-Based Dermatology on another funded review, but they've now got a more secure position with us and that's, I think, really important for the group in terms of helping reviewers get over the line, produce the reviews in a timely way. We're aiming to produce this AAD one, we're aiming to produce it in 12 months, which is much faster than the traditional Cochrane review. Our last one we published a couple of weeks ago had been 14 years in the making, and that's just not acceptable going forwards. So this is and so far so good. We're hoping we can make the 12-month metric with that one and sort of set a new standard and a new way. Essentially we've been project managing it all the way through, and the team have had active support from Jane and Stephanie to you know, to get over the various hurdles. We've been doing a lot more blog shots. We're doing them in-house now. We'd had sometimes relied on previously on other parts of Cochrane deciding that a review was important and making a blog shot. So we've been doing those, and Peter, who's on the line, our consumer editor, has been making some consumer-focused blog shots, which have, you know, we've just started those with the last review, and they're really nice. They're all up on our website if you want to sort of scroll through them, but they give very nice sort of brief summaries of the findings of the reviews. And that, I think, together with some social media activity, is leading to bigger sort of metric scores for the reviews, which traditionally have not been very high with and then some methodologies. Laurence can talk about the living systematic review that she's running, which is really very exciting. We've done another IPD this year, and we've got a handful of network meta-analyses at various different stages. So that's all I really wanted to say about the group in general. And to just hear now from Laurence and Gloria, if you just want to just say a couple of words about your satellite activities, and then we can talk about editorial roles.
Before we do that, Bob, how about Esther's question about reviews?
So I have what I need to do.
I can ask it out loud if that's easier.
Yes, sorry. No, I've got it there. I've got it there. The acne reviews. Yeah, great. Yes, exactly, Esther. So I've been. It's lovely to have the relationship with AAD, and thank you for any part you played in facilitating that, because I think it's a great strength to both sides. Hopefully, going forward, the acne reviews. Yeah, we've got 2, and that's part of the reason we've prioritized them is the knowledge that the acne guidelines are happening next. With so Samir and Lindsay have been they've been joining us once a month on the call to, and that's for us, that's quite important, is hearing, you know, acne's next and then what's after acne, because you need that lead in time with the systematic reviews to try and find good teams. And so yeah, the acne got 2 overviews. There've been quite a lot of acne systematic reviews. Almost there's one outside of our own group, but all the rest have been in our group in the last few years. And the overviews is a kind of Cochrane method for pulling together all the systematic reviews, either Cochrane or any high quality non-Cochrane reviews if relevant. And so we've got one overview which is looking at topical treatments for acne, and one overview which is looking at non-topical treatments, so systemic treatments, but also treatments for acne scars, so some sort of surgical as well. And they're both going in parallel. So the protocols have just come in. We've spent quite a lot of time, Emma particularly spent quite a lot of time trying to align the methodologies and the outcomes. So we've got these paired overviews, which look very nice now. I suspect they should be published very soon now, the protocols, and then the teams will be running with them. So we're hoping, I mean, that should deliver about this time next year. I'd have thought we should have 2 nice overviews of the evidence for treating acne, either topical or non-topicals. Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention something, Bob, if you could turn off your microphone for a second. We have submitted a symposium proposal for the summer AAD meeting, analogous to our Cochrane symposium that was held at the Washington, DC AAD annual meeting in 2019. But this is the next in-person meeting that the AAD is planning in Tampa from, I believe, the 4th of August to the 8th. And hopefully we'll be able to put on a Cochrane symposium there and also highlight our guidelines work with Lindsay speaking there on our Cochrane AAD fellowship. So I continue to see us moving closer with more collaboration with the AAD and hopefully the BAD and other professional dermatology societies in the future.
Thanks so much, Dr. Boyle. That definitely answered my question, and I'm really excited about the kind of collaboration going forward. We'll have a chance to talk more about it tomorrow. I've actually invited, so I'm finishing my 2 years as deputy and then 2 years as chair as of this month for the guidelines committee. But Peggy Wu, who is taking over, I've actually invited her to come to our Cochrane meeting tomorrow morning. I'm hoping she'll be able to come for a little while so you guys can meet her. Although she's like in 3 meetings at the same time. And with the idea, and she's really interested in kind of continuing the collaboration, having like a lot more of this like bi-directional talk so that, you know, I think it's a win-win in the sense that Cochrane reviews could end up in guidelines and the guidelines can have really high quality reviews. So.
Lovely, thank you. Laurence, did you want to update on the French satellite activities?
Did you see the slides?
Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I prepared these slides quite quickly. So, so concerning the French satellite, we have some training activities with a workshop, a seminar dedicated to the dermatology residents, 24 a year. And it's a 2-day workshop talking about evidence-based medicine in general and more specially on systematic review and meta-analysis, and so more specifically on Cochrane reviews. Also, we teach on Master 2 dedicated to nurses on systematic review and Cochrane. And I will run on the next year to begin a Master 1 teaching on 28 hours during 1 semester, dedicated also to systematic review and meta-analysis and Cochrane. It's the part for training. And also we have some communication activities and dissemination. First with the letters published each 3 months and sent automatically to 1,000 people that have signed up to receive the letter. And that's a very short summary of the Cochrane, a bit more than skin Cochrane only, some other Cochrane review that could be interested dermatologists are also sent. We now have a Twitter account for our team of research named Epiderm, and we transmit through this Twitter account the bloodshot you send us, and also some specific materials we produce on Cochrane Review. And there is the website, the French side of the Cochrane website from the satellite. And here an example of we do this for several. It's in French, and we do this from important Cochrane Review or Cochrane Review we participate in, and it's a summary of the results. And concerning our work on systematic review, our main work now it's on the living systematic review on pharmacological treatment on chronic plaque psoriasis. It's a network meta-analysis, and we'll soon publish the next update. I think in April 2021, but you know that better than me. And regarding the experience on living systematic review, so to have an idea, we start with almost 5,500 references and include 109 studies. On the first new version, Actors version, there were 31 new studies, and in the very next update, 28 new studies. So it remains a very active field, and it's a good reasons to continue with the living systematic review. Each month it sends us the new search results, and we select and extract and do the ROB tool, the ROB analysis. And new analysis is performed about each year approximately. And regarding the experience with this living systematic review, the advantages is that now the team, Emily, Sivem, me, knows well the included studies. We are aware, and it's a huge Cochrane with a lot of data. So we are very familiar with all this data. We can do the ROB assessment with a good reproducibility. And the difficulties is to find resources to keep the team active. But for the moment, there is no problem, but it's a challenge. And it's quite complicated to manage ongoing awaiting studies. And we have a new full editorial process each publication. So it's mandatory, but it's also a difficulty. Thank you. Quick summary.
Thank you so much, Laurence. It's so impressive. And yeah, I'm sorry we take time with your living review. It's such a beautiful piece of work.
Oh, no problem.
And I'm sorry, but it's so comprehensive. It
it's just, you know, new carries.
Yeah.
You know the story of new carries, but it's completely normal, but new carries.
Yeah. And I love the do you call that a blog shot, or the summary in French? It's wonderful. They're really nice.
I sent you an example if you want to do
yeah,
things
that's terrific.
like that.
Yeah, that's really nice. Okay. Did anyone have any questions or comments for Laurence?
It would be nice to have the French blog shot on our website as well for Cochrane Skin.
Yeah. Gloria, do you want to give us a brief summary of the Colombian satellite activities?
Sure. Hello for everyone. You're seeing my screen, right?
Lovely, thank you.
Okay. During the last year, we have collaborated with the production of this review in interventions for pruritus of unknown cause, which was printed or published last January. I'm sorry, this is 220. And we have also participated in a network meta-analysis protocol related to allergen immunotherapy for atopic dermatitis, in which I participate as co-author, and the main author is one of our group members, which is an allergologist, which is Juan Jose Yepes. We have also promoted evidence-based medicine in the Spanish-speaking community through our diplomate course in evidence-based dermatology, which was started in 2017. And we will probably have some of these modules available for members of the Colombian Association of Dermatology, maybe starting this year. And regarding our projects, we are participating in several descriptive studies about the economic and social demographic characterization of patients with psoriasis, which has been submitted to an international journal. Also in acne, which is on preparation, and also on atopic dermatitis, which has been submitted as well. We are also working in genetics in psoriasis, and we have submitted an article regarding protective association of these polymorphism of the interferon-1 gene we found in our population. And we are also working in the impact of psoriasis on quality of life, and also on atopic dermatitis. And we are now working as well in the cross-cultural adaptation and validation of the DLQI here in Colombia, because we just have a Colombian Spanish version, but it's not yet validated here. We also participate, or I also participate in a PhD 1-month course of methodology in systematic reviews and meta-analysis during the second semester each year. And I also have this course with the School of Medicine graduate students every semester in clinical epidemiology and in several design of studies, including meta-analysis and systematic reviews. And I also have a course with our first-year dermatology residents in dermatoepidemiology as well, in which we include also systematic reviews and meta-analysis. We have our website working in our university through our research group. We have here the link, and this is the information we have in our website. We have also our site here at the Cochrane Skin Group website, which is now working and translated. And some of our members have suggested these probably titles for making a review. photodermatosis, scabies, and cosmeceuticals or dermocosmetics. We are planning also to start to publish some highlights and tips for the interpretation of results from these already published reviews, but in Spanish, either as a blog shot or as a short article of about 3 to 5 pages. These were the titles that the journal had selected. So I will be happy if you can have any suggestion about which one could be better to start with. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Gloria. That's fantastic. Yeah, we could probably start by just talking about those short articles. I don't know whether you want to talk to that, Rob, because we've had some discussion about and offers from different journals about different types of summaries.
Yes, we're probably going to make a major push with the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology to do more from the Cochrane Library summary articles, which are going to be in a different format, very short, with only 5 references, 500 words. So I'm curious as to which journal you're working with and what format they want. I know the British Journal of Dermatology has a much bigger article format that's available, and some of the Cochrane skin authors are interested in doing that type of co-publication instead, or summary article. So Gloria, which journal are you targeting?
Yes, it's a Spanish journal. It's Actas Dermosifiliográficas.
And do you know what format they're looking for? You say 3 to 5 pages and a certain number of references.
Actually, we are free to start like a new format for them. They don't have a format. So I think we are going to propose the format and they will comment on it first.
So it would be interesting to know if we could pass along the from the Cochrane Library articles in English to be translated and perhaps adapted in some way to that journal for Spanish if you're looking for short articles. So we would have to find out from the JAD authors or the JAD editors what they think about that potential collaboration. If you're open to doing that, I can contact them.
Yeah, sure. That would be great.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions for Gloria? I think we could probably just touch on prioritization because you mentioned some ideas for new reviews there, Gloria. And I was thinking, so we did a round of prioritization in 2017 and another one in 2020. I think we're feeling like we might be ready to do another one next year rather than leave it another 3 years, because we've sort of published most of the legacy reviews that were in the system and taking a lot of years to come through. So we've probably, and I think it'd be great to include those suggestions in that exercise. We obviously want to, do it as thoroughly as we've done it previously and make sure there's a really good rationale for each review we take on. But those are good subjects. We do have a cosmetic one going through at the moment, but scabies and photodermatosis, we haven't got any actually live at the moment. So there could be some updates on new reviews needed there.
And just to be respectful of everybody's time, we're at time now,
Yeah.
Bob. So with your agenda, are there any topics that we haven't hit upon?
I think we were going to have we had it in mind to have a discussion of editorial roles. I think, yeah. What we would, I think the only thing to say is we just encourage editors to get involved in a review. So with the prioritization exercise that's coming up probably next year, just encourage you to participate in that, come up with suggestions, think hard about it, think what you might like to be involved in. And because the best way of keeping up to date with all the changes in Cochrane is to be part of an author team. So yeah, just to encourage that really. And we've got -1 minute for any further discussion or questions.
I did want to encourage our current editors to suggest additional editors for our editorial board, especially those attending our annual meeting. I saw Aaron Drucker was on the meeting, and I don't believe we have any editors from Canada, so I'd like to forward his name as a potential future editor for us to consider. If anybody else has any future editors that they see participating in our events that they want to suggest, please feel free to do so. And with that, I think because we're over time, to be respectful of everybody's time and other commitments, we will end our editorial meeting, but it was very exciting to see all the faces on Zoom, and hope everybody is staying safe and getting a lot accomplished. And thank you so much for spending some of your day with us here at our Cochrane Annual SCIM first day meeting. Hope to see you on the call tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.